Hello everybody, and welcome back to Sekiro. As you can see, we've got some recording that I did last night. I did multiple attempts to bring down the Sword Saint on NG +1, and well, it didn't go very well. It went better than I expected, but it didn't go very well. But, well, this little video here is more to be just my thoughts on the game itself, and how this challenge went. I may do some comments on the actual runs in the background, but a lot of these early runs are me playing very badly. Like this one here is not going great. Although, commenting on these can also tell you some of the issues we had with the challenge itself. Like right there, I got slammed because I'm spamming. And well, spamming is something you should not do in any of the Souls games, but in Sekiro the absolute least. Because as far as I know, there's no way to interrupt your sequence, and it will queue up attacks. Like if you hit the attack button 3 times real fast, he's going to do a 3-hit combo. Even if that takes the amount of time it takes you to press the button 9 times. So if you want to fight, or if you want to fight somebody like Genichiro there, you need to hit the button when you want to hit the button. Or when you want to swing. Because, well, if you don't, he'll go into a combo, and then you'll die. Because you won't be able to deflect or dodge, because you already have an attack queued up. The fact that I made it to the Sword Saint on the second attempt shocked me. But, hey. Yay. Go us. But, let's just watch this one for a minute and see where we go here. He's kind of exposed on his sword hand side, if you can stay ahead of him. But as you see there, I did not stay ahead of him. And now I'm dead. Let's see. Get back, do some healing, come back in. See, now we're behind him. I didn't dodge to the side, and I mistimed my Makiri counter there, which is embarrassing because Makiri counters are the easiest thing in the game to hit. But, yeah. And then we're going to have several fairly quick runs against Genichiro here where we die because we spam. Of course, there we died because I got hit hard right as soon as I came in. It wasn't even worth trying the fight. Jump into the pit. Let's see what kills us here. Yeah, not a lot to talk about there. Got hit by a big hit and stood there and took an arrow. I'm spamming. Thus I get down stabbed. I thought he was doing a sweep attack, but he was actually doing a thrust attack, so I got killed by it. That is what issue with Genichiro in particular, is he gets down low when he does his stuff. So it's really hard to see how he's facing when he's doing his different attacks. You kind of have to pay attention to what direction he was moving at the time he started it. But, anyway, this is a good time just to talk about our challenge. I did not expect the stupid ogre to be as devastating as he is. I may throw in a exception to the rule next time we do Deathless, that if you get yeeted into a pit, then it doesn't count. You can resurrect and try again. Since we did have 2 runs of our 5 ended by being yeeted into a pit. But also, I think we probably would have been better served if at the very beginning I had done what I started doing later in the attempts, which was if I die, get vengeance immediately, just to practice fighting the boss, because it's been so long since I played this game. I mean, I'm sure you guys could tell from the attempts that I was much better on attempt 4 and 5 than I was on attempt 1 and 2. That was embarrassing. Oh, let's see. What else do we have to talk about here? I do love this game, but of course this is one good thing to talk about. The whole controversy around Sekiro and should all games have difficulty settings. And one of the reasons why that doesn't really come up with games like Dark Souls or Bloodborne is because both those games have difficulty settings. You may not realize that, but they do. It's called leveling up. Because, hey, this boss is killing you too quickly. Level up a few times, add a few more points of, is it vigor or vitality? I can't remember which one it is, but it adds more health. And then, what do you know, the next time you fight that boss, that hit that killed you the first time doesn't kill you anymore. So now you can escape, heal, and keep fighting the boss. And it's amazing how much surviving that one extra hit can make in the difficulty of a fight. But Sekiro doesn't have that. Yes, there are ways to increase your damage, but the percentage points at this point in the game, here at the end of an NG Plus run, where I have killed every boss in the game except one, and the only reason I haven't killed that boss is because that's a different ending path that I haven't done that one yet. So, but anyway, I think if I got another grinded up, I can't remember if it's 5 or 10 skill points that you need to get another level of attack power, it would be an increase of like, I think, I don't know, like 2% to my damage or something like that, which is very, very small. And my health is absolutely maxed. There's nothing I can do to make my health or defenses stronger other than using sugars. And you'll note here, I am using Divine Confetti to increase my damage and an Akko Sugar to increase my damage even further. So I have double damage buffs and maxed out health. And if you watch, when he hit me there, that's 2 hits, he destroyed 2/3 of my health. So that's... Sekiro is the hardest of the Soulsborne games. And I will say, I kind of wish they gave us the ability to level up more in this game than they do. That's the extent of my position on the should all games have difficulty settings. If the developers want their game to be as widely played as possible, yes, absolutely. If the developers want to make a crushingly difficult game, like this one is, then no. But basically basically there's the argument to be made of, should they be inclusive? Yes, probably. But they don't have to be. Just like, I mean, if you can't play the game or don't want to play the game because it's not inclusive, you don't have to. Nobody's making you. It's just a position of, it's nice to have as many players as possible. but in game, and sometimes it just affects the game itself to have settings like that. Like in Sekiro, if I was able to increase my health more and my damage more and whatever else, I probably would have already completed all the achievements and be done with it, and I wouldn't be doing this challenge right now. But it's entirely possible I wouldn't have liked the game as much. I don't know. Because there's just something about the difficulty of this game that just, it speaks to me. I don't really know how to explain it. I kind of wish I had my footage from the fights with Owl back in when I was streaming this game. But one of the main differences in combat in Sekiro from the other Souls games is the amount of tracking that enemies do. Like in Dark Souls, when an enemy has begun their attack, if you dodge it, you've dodged it. In Sekiro, if you dodge too early, they will just continue the attack and follow you with it. And there was a fight against Owl, I think it was the second Owl fight, where he was in position and he raised his sword over his head like he was going to do a classic overhead kendo attack at me. And I dodged behind him. And as I did, I was watching his feet, and his feet just shifted position slightly. And I will say, in my youth, I did practice some martial arts. I barely remember any of it to this day, but I recognized the way he shifted his feet. It was from a front standing position to he moved his feet to a turning position. And as I saw that, like, oh, I'm about to die. And he began his swing as if I had not moved and spun as he was doing it and sliced me down. And it was just, at that moment, it was like, this combat is much more realistic is the wrong term, but it's the only term I have for this. So, realistic. We're going to go with realistic. And it's just one of those, if you can learn to watch them, you can learn to counter their moves. And you just have to do it. But, again, I know, like, some people don't have the manual dexterity for it. I understand that. I cannot, for the life of me, play fighting games, like Street Fighter or things like that, because I just cannot manipulate the sticks in the way to do the maneuvers correctly. The last one that I tried to play was the one on PS4 that was superheroes, Injustice, I think was what it was called, maybe. And I spent 2 hours, and I didn't make it out of the tutorial because I could not perform the fairly simple sequence of controls to do a parry, I think it was. And by the end of it, my hands were cramping up and just couldn't do it. So, I understand that sometimes you just can't play the game as it was intended to be played, and it would be nice if the developers thought of that and built that in. So again, I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's not a crime if they don't. But anyway, let us step away from controversial topics and talk about getting my butt kicked by Genichiro here. Actually, this is a fight where I beat him, but I have not done well. As you can see, I've already had to use a resurrection, and I'm almost dead. When I was still streaming these attempts, if I had to use a resurrection on Genichiro, I just gave up because I wasn't going to be able to handle Ishin because I wouldn't have a resurrection on him, and I would have already had to use resources that I just did not have at my disposal. But on this, I decided if I was close to bringing him down, I would keep going. At this point, I have stopped spamming. Okay, there I kept spamming. See, I'm not actually spamming here on Ishin, but for some reason I was thinking 2 hits, and then let him deflect you twice, and then he'll go into one of his dire attacks. But sometimes he just starts doing slashes at you, and those destroy me. Because we're trying to attack him from his sword side, so his simple sword attacks are going to hit you on that side. There is actually an attempt later where I try to start dodging on his offhand side, and that did not go well at all. But here we are fighting Genichiro again. This is a failed attempt. How do we fail? Okay, that's one of the things that gets me on Genichiro. You saw he was about to go into a dire attack there. He was moving to his left. That means it's going to be a sweep attack. So I saw it coming and stopped hitting the attack button to do the jump to counter it. But I had already begun an attack before he started the dire move, so I hit him. And when I hit him, he stopped the dire attack. But I had already stopped attacking him and was ready to jump, so I was exposed to his regular attacks, and he destroyed me. Right there, that was just one of those cases where I thought his swing would cover about 90 degrees, and it covered 200 degrees. We landed a Makiri counter. Applause, please. I don't know if I ever told the story in the actual videos, but when I was actively playing for the achievements and I made it to Ishin on NG+1, on my first attempt, I destroyed Genichiro and brought Ishin all the way to Phase 3. Or his Phase 3, I should say. Because technically this is Phase 2. But the final phase. The lightning phase. And I missed a lightning counter and he killed me. And if I remember correctly, it took me 6 hours of attempts to get back to Phase 3 again. And that's one of the main reasons why I stopped doing this on stream. Is because I was doing it on Monday nights, which are the day that I'm actually the most tired. Maybe I should try to adjust my stream schedule, but whatever. Those were the days I was the most tired. And so I would sit there. It'd be 8:30 at night. Yeah, I'd start streaming. An hour and a half later, I will have died 30 times, made no progress. 25 of those deaths would have been to Genichiro here. And yeah, I'm looking down here at my, I don't know what you actually call it. It's the thing at the bottom of the video editing software where it has all of your clips. I'm looking at that thing. And at no point during this was originally about an hour and 10 minutes of attempts. It's been edited down to about 40 all I did was edit out the runbacks and any looking through my inventory I did. But just looking here at this, at no point do I fight Ishin on 2 consecutive attempts. Let's see. There were 5 attempts between the first 2 Ishin fights, then 2, then 1, then 6, 2, 7. We're in the middle of the 7 pocket right now. Then that's either 1 or 4. I'm not sure. It's possible that's a very short Ishin encounter, but it might just be a long Genichiro encounter. And then 8, and then 2. But my final attempt is my best attempt. I will not be talking over that one when we get there. You get to watch that one in its entirety, and that will be the outro of the video. But let's see what kills us here. Okay, that one wasn't spam. That was me getting greedy. I'd noticed a few times that if I timed it correctly, I could land a hit while he was in the air and then dodge out from underneath this like that. But, yeah. But, of course, that's really kind of the problem with Genichiro, is sometimes you can hit him and interrupt his attacks. But only sometimes. Like, as you watch these attempts, he always does the I can't remember what the big sword is called. His Black Divine Blade, or whatever it's called. He always does that twice. But you'll notice in about half the attempts where I face him, I managed to get him to not cast it the second time. I have no idea what causes that. Of course, those are also probably my best attempts, too, so who knows. The first phase of Ishin isn't very difficult. He's pretty squishy. I mean, really, in all of his phases, Ishin is fairly squishy. His health goes down pretty quick. His posture damage goes up pretty quick. If I could stop trying to dodge him and start trying to deflect his attacks, this was the whole reason that I stopped playing Sekiro, is that I could not get out of the habit of dodging all the time. And like, particularly on Ishin right here. He is technically a posture boss. You can bring him down by vitality damage, but you're going to cap his posture bar before you do it every time. And it's just like, if I could deflect him, then he'd go down much faster and I'd probably beat him. But even though I haven't played the game in a year or more, I'm still playing this fight exactly the same as I was doing before. Dodge to the left, hit him twice. Dodge to the left, hit him twice. And hey, it works. But about 40% of the time, he lands a hit on you. And he hits like a truck. And if you get to the second phase, having used up a lot of your healing items, you are in very, very bad shape. Because that spear hits even harder than the sword, and he's much more aggressive in this phase. I do not like that attack at all. Sometimes you dodge it and you're right under the attack, and it's like you planned it. And then sometimes you seem to be in the exact same position, and he busts you right in the face with it. But let's see, we probably talked enough about the fights. I mean, I could probably still talk about the fights some more. I do like these fights quite a bit. But, well, let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Well, I do know, on Challenge 3, Sekiro is going to go back up on the list. I'm not sure if I'm going to put Deathless up there again or some other challenge. I've considered doing a Shura run without using the prosthetic. But the idea of fighting the, several of the bosses without using the firecrackers is absolutely terrifying. Deathless actually sounds less scary than that sometimes. Or maybe a limited life run. Like, say instead of Deathless, I can die 3 times. Or something. Just so we actually make some progress. Or we could do Deathless again and give me 10 attempts. I don't know. Be sure to comment on the videos. Tell me what you guys think we ought to do. Of course, the next challenge has not been set yet, although at the time of this recording, Civilization 6 is winning. I do these polls on Twitter, by the way. And just to explain my plan is I'm going to do 3 challenges in a row that are Twitter challenges. And then the 4th challenge will be I pick it and I do it. That way, in case y'all continue to pick the ones I don't expect you to pick, I'm going to pick the one that I want to. And also that way, just in the event you guys have decided to make me suffer. Which, you wouldn't do that to me, right? You wouldn't intentionally make me suffer. Would you? What am I kidding? Yes, you would. I understand entirely. I would do it too. But, yeah, so that's how that's going to work. And I guess I should explain, assuming Civilization 6 wins, then what I'm going to do is we are going to fire up a game of Civilization 6. I'm going to put it on, I think I selected Prince difficulty. I'm going to pick one of the big maps. I'm going to pick a warmonger of a nation, and then I'm going to conquer the world. Because typically the way that I play most all strategy games is I like science. I like to win by sitting there peacefully building up a indestructible juggernaut that at the very end of the game everybody else is still working on how to make their sticks good and pointy while I'm launching rockets. That's the kind of strategy game I tend to play. But, so, Warmonger is going to be entirely out of my wheelhouse, but it should be fun anyway. I'm thinking we're going to go with Alexander and the Macedonians, but we'll see. And let's see, what else do we have to talk about? I've got about another 10 minutes to talk here. See. I mean, I assume everybody here has been is a follower of the stream team, the Warriors of Light, that I am a member of. And I assume you all are, because, well, at the time I recorded this, I think half of my subscribers are members of the Warriors of Light. So, yeah. But yes, if you don't follow them, follow them. There's probably about 150 of us now, so there's always somebody on the team streaming. Lots of JRPGs being played, but there's other stuff too. I know I've seen people playing Apex, some people playing the Resident Evil games have been popular lately, probably because Village is coming out. And let's see. Well, I can actually click over here and see who's streaming right now. Let's see, we got somebody playing Final Fantasy XIV, somebody playing Nier Automata, somebody playing Dragon Quest XI, and somebody playing Metroid Prime 3. I did not expect that. That was a good game. I miss Metroid Prime. Hey, Nintendo, when are we going to hear something about Metroid Prime? Please? Soon? E3 maybe? Metroid Prime 4 and Breath of the Wild 2. Give me information on that, I beg you. But, yeah. But, yeah, just... I love Sekiro. I don't know if I'm ever actually going to complete my platinum run of Sekiro, because I am going to insist on doing it in one continuous playthrough of NG0, NG plus 1, NG plus 2, and NG plus 3. Well, maybe not NG plus 3 if I decide to do one of the Shura runs, but that's the only one that I would skip. We are absolutely going to do NG plus 2 Ishin the Sword Saint. So, of course, we have to defeat NG plus 1 Ishin the Sword Saint first. So, and yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but I started doing the Tales of Vesperia achievement run as a break from Sekiro. I did not expect it to last 14, 16 months now. It's a very long achievement run. I mean, it would have been shorter if I streamed more, and I've had to skip streams. Not really in a while. In early COVID days, I was extremely busy, but not anymore. So now I don't think I've skipped a Monday in quite some time. But we were also getting pretty close to done with that one. I don't know when we're done with that one if we'll immediately go back to Sekiro, or we might finish something else out first. I don't know. But I do very badly want to finish Sekiro, because there are about 5, 6, maybe more Souls-like games on my backlog list. I do maintain a backlog list. See, I have Neo 2, Mortal Shell. I think Star Wars Fallen Order technically qualifies, but I don't know. Near Replicant's on here. I'm not sure exactly how much it qualifies, but same goes for Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, I mean, I've got a good many on here of just stuff I want to play that has a similar control scheme to Sekiro that I really don't want to train new muscle memory on top of that might make this even harder on me. But yeah. But we are coming up on the final attempt. We've got 3 more before the final attempt, including this one. So, I'm probably going to be winding up the talking here pretty soon. But, you know, I like to talk, don't I? I hope you guys enjoyed this challenge. I really did, even if at times it seemed like I did not. I I really like this challenge. I'm sorry it's over, and we will be trying it again. Even after I finally finish my platinum run, if I ever do, we will continue some Sekiro challenges on the channel because I love this game. But of course, once the Sekiro challenges are done, we can do some Dark Souls challenges or Bloodborne challenges. I would really love to try a Bloodborne Deathless run. That would be fun. But we have 2 failed Genichiros and then we'll be on the final, so I'm going to wrap up the talking here. And I hope you guys enjoyed the challenge. I hope you guys stick around for the next challenge, which may or may not be Civilization 6. We shall see. But, yeah. Be sure to check out my Twitch, guys. I stream 4 times a week. I do achievement runs on Monday, building games on Tuesday, Final Fantasy on Friday, and a long stream on Saturday. Currently playing Persona 5 Strikers, but yeah. So, we're going to end here. Hope you guys enjoy the final attempt, and that was a weird death. Enjoy the final attempt, guys.
Sekiro! Sekiro!